on this particular trip, we're heading up to Homer, Alaska, which is in kind of south central Alaska. It's on the north end of the Gulf of Alaska there, just west of Anchorage. And Homer's a fishing town. It's been basically taken root there because of the incredible halibut and salmon fishery. And John Dornellas, who's a Riffe team member, has been living up there the past 2 summers.
I'm Ryan Moore on assignment here with Riffe International out in western Alaska, trying to shoot some big halibut and lingcod. So Alaska, in a lot of ways, is like Northern California, which is something I have a lot more experience with. It's cold water, it's kelp beds, it's a lot of good structure, which is where you're gonna find the fish. The problem is there's so much good structure that the biomass, the real pockets of high density fish areas, it's gonna take a lot of legwork to find those zones. What we're looking for is we're looking for areas with great structure and also a lot of rockfish, because those rockfish are kind of going to show where life's concentrating on the reef. We're trying to find big schools of rockfish, which is going to give us big lingcods, and hopefully those same zones are going to have big salmon moving through. On top of that, if we can find sand patches in those zones, hopefully that's where the halibut are waiting to eat up on those other salmon and the bait fish in the region too.
So in our time visiting Homer, Alaska's known for bad weather, and sure enough, we had one day where we couldn't get out on the boat to go spearfishing, and we were fortunate enough that our friend Brad from Coldwater, Alaska, invited us to come along while he went dip netting in one of the local streams for silvers. And none of us had ever seen this before. We've never seen a salmon run. There's no salmon runs anymore in Southern California. So we put on our wetsuits and we hiked up this rocky embankment, going up this stream back into the forest. And it was really cool there, these just beautiful pools of water. And residents of Alaska are allowed to dip net basically with a big old net and scoop these salmon up if they can.
Very cold too. The exposure factor is really big up here because the water is in the high 40s and low 50s. You have to stay warm. The best way to do that is just to layer up with thick wetsuits. So we're all wearing 7mm Riffe suits. That gives us the ability to really fish all day and cover the ground we need to find these fish.
We're hoping this is good. We've been wanting to dive this spot. We've been looking at it on a map. I don't think anyone's ever dove this place before, so we're stoked.
So Alaska presents some really unique challenges for spearfishing. It's really cold water and it's typically pretty dirty. I mean, you're looking at like between 0 and 60 foot of visibility on a great day, but typically it's more like 10 to 20 foot visibility when you have a good day. And so that means you're gonna be shooting short guns, and because of the size of the fish, you're gonna be shooting powerful guns. So we predominantly brought the Riffe Marauder series. We brought the 47 and the 55-inch gun, which is gonna give us the ability to maneuver the gun around easily in kind of tight quarters up against the reef and in dirty water. And it's also gonna give us the power we need to penetrate these big fish, giant halibut, giant lingcod, and potentially big king salmon.
Gonna go scope out some rocks, go see if we can find some lingcod, maybe some rockfish. Beautiful.
Being in a place that none of us, or probably anyone, had ever dove before, presented a lot of challenges as well, because it's not like where the fish are going to be stacked up or where the zone is going to be, where all the action is. You're just searching.
With the halibut, from start to finish, it was like man versus beast fight. Like, it really felt like a fight to the death. And we were anchored. I'm getting pushed down current while I'm fighting this thing. I couldn't believe it wouldn't die. I stabbed it like 8 times in the head. They just don't seem to die. Like, they don't stop fighting. And the way that they fight, it's like a pulsation, almost like shooting. So if the dogtooth's like shooting a Ferrari, shooting a halibut's like hitting a semi-truck. The horsepower may be about the same, but the torque on these animals is unreal. They have massive tails that are meant for pretty dang hard fighting, apparently.
Alaska's pretty amazing. We came up here with pretty high expectations, and I think it's safe to say that we scored really big. We all got real nice halibut. We got to shoot some rockfish. You know, camped out here, did an overnight the last couple nights, and stayed at this beautiful place here. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. It's always cool to explore a new part of the world with friends, and when you get to do it and shoot big fish along the way, it's about as good as it gets.
Yeah, showed to a spot, and they said there could be halibut there, and did a drop, and lo and behold, there was a halibut blowing away. Biggest halibut I've ever seen. Wasn't big for Alaska, but for me, from a California guy, massive.
We've got meat on the boat. Meat's going home. Pumped. Pumped. Halibut landed.
You know, we traveled clear across the world, thousands of miles, to visit this pristine place. In order, you know, strictly, the reason we went there was to take fish. We went there to spearfish, and yet we didn't take an excessive amount. We took what we needed. You have these memories that are going to last us forever, and we know we'll be back someday to enjoy it again. As far as the halibut meat, halibut's always been one of my absolute favorites. It's just beautiful white meat. The fish we got were in the 50-pound class range, and those are just excellent eating fish, and it was just exceptional. I mean, everything, the flavor, the texture, the company, it was just like a perfect meal to kind of bring the trip together at the very end. Hunting and spearfishing for me is like an inseparable part of who I am. So one of the things I absolutely love about the Riffe brand is they try to align themselves with this idea of fish for the future. Kind of the idea that you can go out and enjoy these wild places and only harvest what you need. Being with people I cared about, spending time outside, being physically active, having a goal, you know, pursuing those, you know, fish we were after, or the, you know, new locations, trying to figure it out. It was like a puzzle, and it was something that I was so drawn to every part of it that it's something I can't imagine living without.